Hey there, people, what's good? I've got a message today about I feel is very relatable. So we're reading from Luke chapter 15, verse 11, the parable of the lost son. Jesus continued, there was a man who had two sons. The younger one said to his father, Father, give me my share of the estate. So he divided his property between them. Not long after that, the younger son got together all he had, set off for a distant country, and there squandered his wealth in wild living. After he had spent everything, there was a severe famine in that whole country, and he began to be in need. So he went and hired himself out to a citizen of that country, who sent him to his field to feed pigs. He longed to fill his stomach with the pods that the pigs were eating, but no one gave him anything. So just pausing here, what is the inheritance? So he says, give me my share of the estate. But, when you say, okay, what am I going to inherit? Like, I remember my brother used to ask my parents about what are you going to leave me when you die? It's almost like you're wishing for that death. And Jesus was nearing the point of, okay, he's starting to tell parables, he's in his ministry. He's nearing the point of his death, of no return. And this is, his blood is our share of that. We don't deserve it, but so when we say, give me my share of the estate, we're saying, give me permission to sin. You let me do what I want. And he goes and he squanders his wealth in wild living. The wealth isn't just financial, but also his dreams, his aspirations, is the way that everything is tailored for him. Because we're all on our own unique journey and experience in this life. At verse 17 it says, when he came to his senses, he said, how many of my father's hired servants have food to spare, and here I am starving to death? See, the wages of sinning is death. And that is wild living. You can really this life is crazy and our flesh is crazy. Our flesh just desires more and more and more. It can never be satisfied because it's not meant to be satisfied by anything in this world. It's meant to be satisfied in who God is, who the Father, the Son, and the Spirit are. So I want to pay attention to when he came to his senses. I feel like that's sort of happening in my life a little bit more. Naturally, I haven't really been posting, doing anything, progressing, moving. Because to be honest, it's felt overwhelming and I haven't felt God with me. I know he's there because he'll never leave me nor forsake me, but it's difficult sometimes to have that faith when troubles come. But when the troubles come, Satan begins to attack our mind, begins to keep telling us, okay, you're this, you're that, you're worthless, you're not good enough, you're not qualified. God doesn't call the qualified, he qualifies the called. And we just have to be obedient to him and obey his instructions. So he says, how many of my father's hired servants have food to spare, and here I am starving to death? See, in this parable, the Father obviously represents our Father in heaven. And these hired servants, these people, we see that people who do the Lord's work, they reap good reward, not even for the sake of, okay, we wanted a reward, they just wanted to put the kingdom first. And he says, I will set out and go back to my father and say to him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and against you. I am no longer worthy to be called your son. Make me like one of your hired servants. So he got up and went to his father. Sometimes that's just what it's about. That's the hardest but most simplest step that feels like a mountain sometimes. To just get up and go to the Father because we feel so much shame. You know, a lot of us might be feeling unworthy. A lot of us might be feeling confused. And I think the thing that, for me, really makes me feel unworthy is the fact that it isn't like I don't see the good God is doing for me. I just decide to go my own way anyway, you know? So we come to him and we say we're not worthy. But while he was still a long way off, his father saw him and was filled with compassion for him. He ran to his son, threw his arms around him and kissed him. Think about what that father saw, you know? His son was living in poverty, he was probably slumped over, slouching his shoulders, didn't want to get up. Sometimes we feel like that, like we just don't want to get up. Obviously, I've been feeling like that. You've noticed that there hasn't been as much ministry content lately, you know, or any. And I apologise for that because I can see people trying to encourage me and trying to help me. But we just have to keep on stepping. You know, we just have to keep on going. And just keep on coming back to that throne of grace, that throne of mercy. You see, I started this ministry when I was freed from addiction, and I thought, once I'm free, I'm free. And it doesn't quite work like that. It's a daily battle, it's a daily grind, and I was so resentful of being set free. I was like, why have you taken away this thing that brought me joy? But I see now that it's really been a prison, you know, and continued to be a prison because I was not willing to accept and deal with the emotions that I didn't want to face. The son said to him, I have sinned against heaven and against you. I am no longer worthy to be called your son. But the father said to his servants, quick, bring the best robe and put it on him. Put a ring on his finger and sandals on his feet. Bring the fattened calf and kill it. Let's have a feast and celebrate. For this son of mine was dead and is alive again. He was lost and is found. So they began to celebrate. Meanwhile, the eldest son was in the field. This part comes as a warning to us who are doing the work of the Lord, you know. And I feel like this too was part of my bitterness. And maybe you guys might be feeling some bitterness too. Like, I'm doing this, I'm seeing other people that are doing well, and they're not obeying you. So the eldest son was in the field, and when he came near the house, he heard music and dancing. So he called one of the servants and asked him what was going on. Your brother has come, he replied, and your father has killed the fattened calf, because he has him back safe and sound. The elder brother became angry and refused to go in. So his father went out and pleaded with him. But he answered his father, Look, all these years I've been slaving for you, and never disobeyed your orders. Yet you never gave me even a young goat so I could celebrate with my friends. But when this son of yours who has squandered your property with prostitutes comes home, you killed the fattened calf for him. My son, the father said, you are always with me, and everything I have is yours. But we had to celebrate and be glad, because this brother of yours was dead and is alive again. He was lost and is found. See, God wants to meet us right in our situation. And that inheritance that we want to go and squander, that we want to spend on prostitutes, the prostitutes in this parable is the sin that so easily entices, entangles, you know, that familiar habit, that familiar place, that. So there's two warnings in this. Firstly, come to your senses. Like, because as I say, the devil will attack your memory and your mind, and like you start to think, did I make it up? Was God ever there? Was he ever with me? But he always was and always is, and if we just call on him, he'll answer. But the second warning is to not be like the elder brother, who, While he had been diligent and he'd obeyed everything his father had commanded him, he allowed that to build up bitterness in his heart, jealousy in his heart of, okay, he was trying to say the younger son does not deserve this gift. And the father said, well, look, he was dead. He was dead. Normally, when you get an inheritance, it's because your father dies or your mother dies. But in this parable, it's the opposite. He took the inheritance and he died. He died to himself. He died to his dreams. He died to all the love in his heart. And if that feels like you today, just know that there's hope. Jeremiah 29:11 says, I know the plans I have for you. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you, but to give you hope and a future. We can hold on to that promise, knowing that God is in control and that everything is going to come at the appointed time, but what we really have to understand is that it's his timing, not our timing. See, the elder brother says, you've never even given me a young goat to celebrate with my friends. You know, maybe that becomes another lost son. It's all up to us, though. It's about proximity. Everything David did prospered because the Lord was with him. Everything Joseph was elevated to the highest places in Egypt because the Lord was with him. You know, we just have to be faithful and have faith. You know, faith without works is dead because we have to walk by faith and not by sight. And sometimes this world can give us troubles and we can start worrying and feel overwhelmed. But know that he's with you in that and he's willing to come to you. Notice that while he was still a long way off, his father saw him and was filled with compassion for him. He ran to his son, threw his arms around him and kissed him. The son was dejected. The son was like, what do you want with me? Like, surely you don't want to see me. I'm going to come. I'm going to be a hired worker. I'll pay back everything. I'll make it right. And the father was like, thank the Lord that you're here. Thank God that you're here. Because he misses us all, you know? When we go astray, when we run away, he's missing us so much. And it's only us that can come to him because he's always there waiting. But we just have to trust that he is in control and he knows what he's doing. God bless you all and thank you for your patience. We've been debating whether to continue this ministry or delete. Like, I deleted a lot of things because I felt unworthy. Even doing the ministry videos, I was saying I don't feel worthy of this calling. Who is worthy to represent our Father in heaven? Because we are bound to misrepresent him. No matter what. He is perfect and we're not. But his strength is made perfect in our weakness. So if you're feeling weak, if you're feeling down, if you're feeling dejected, if you're feeling afraid, he will comfort you. But you just have to allow him to open yourself up, to open your heart. And it's not easy. But it is worth it. This brother of yours was dead and is alive again. He was lost and is found. Accept life today. Allow yourself to be found today. God bless you all. Shalom.